everyone. Welcome to another video here on motorcycling endeavors. And today, on Friday, July 13th, 2018, I am actually riding my motorcycle to work for the very first time. And I'm kind of excited about it. Now, I didn't really purchase my motorcycle to commute to work. I wanted to kind of keep it separate from, from work itself, for primarily leisure to ride on the weekends. However, throughout the course of time, I have discovered that I am not getting the kind of saddle time that I need to become a more proficient rider. So, with that said, I decided to ride to work, attempt to start riding to work, 2 or 3 days during the week. And today is day one. So I thought, what a great idea to start a video where I talk about the 5 big things. You learn a lot. The 5 things I learned my first year of riding. And so I figure, hey, since I'm riding to work for the first time on a motorcycle, I might as well just talk about the 5 things I've learned. So here we go. Items number 1 and 2 are pretty much ironclad in their spots, in my opinion. 3 through 5 can fluctuate, however's liking. So anyway, here we go. Number 5, people in passenger cars are homicidal maniacs. Now, when you are in your car and you see someone cut in front of you, rush through a red light, roll through a stop sign, or just totally miss the stop sign, cut you off, tailgate, jump across 3 lanes of traffic, you would say to yourself, God, what a moron. That's what you would say. So, however, on a motorcycle, when it happens directly in front of you, adjacent to you, or someone behind you, you're just like, man, these guys are out to freaking kill me. So I always learn to ride with thinking, not with, but thinking that everyone is out to kill me. That is how I ride. So, number 5, you think people in passenger cars are homicidal maniacs. Number 4, plan on spending more than you anticipate. Motorcycling can be very expensive, and and if you think about it, it's kind of expensive. It's a discretionary expense. It's a hobby. Some people can't get their money's out of worth, but it's pretty expensive. So if you think about it, you have the initial cost of the motorcycle. If you choose to buy gear, you buy gear, and you're pretty much set there. You got the insurance and the registration. You're all set. But also during the buying process, you may come across a motorcycle. Let's say that your budget was $4,000, but the actual bike that you're going to end up maybe for like $4,600, which is perfectly fine. Maybe for $600 you're just getting a motorcycle with less mileage on it, less dings on it, or maybe just a better all-around bike or a better performing bike. Maybe it's just a great deal. Somebody's just looking to get rid of it. So you can get an uptick there. You can get certainly an uptick in gear. Maybe you were thinking about a $200 helmet, but maybe they're out of stock or they don't have the size you need. And however, there's this $230 helmet, and you just say, okay, well, it's good. So you'll have upticks and upsales there. But it also doesn't end there when you make your initial purchases. Let's say that, like myself, you purchase a chain drive bike, right? So now you have to clean and lube the chain. So, you have to buy cleaners, you got to buy the grunge brush, you got to buy the lube. And then after 2 or 3 times, cleaning and lubing the chain without a rear tire stand, you're gonna be like, God, this sucks. Guess what? You're buying a rear tire stand. So then you're buying a rear tire stand, and then maybe the gloves that you got aren't great, and you need to get better gloves, so you're going to get better gloves. Maybe you get a lot of vibration in your motorcycle handles, so now guess what? You're going to get a new set of grips for your motorcycle. If you have the Vulcan S like I do, the one thing that you will notice is that the seat, the stock seat, is dreadfully also awful. Awful, awful, awful. If you're on that bike for about an hour, those pressure points are going to kick in and your ass is going to be screaming. So then you break down and you buy a new seat, you buy a new windscreen, you might get some saddlebags. So plan on spending more than what you anticipate. Number 3, it's addicting. Now, after you get past your initial introduction to motorcycling and you're on the bike and you're getting your first 1,000 miles in there, and you'll have a heart-stopping moment. You'll have 1 or 2 heart-stopping moments. You'll experience crosswinds and potholes and people riding your ass and cutting in front of you and not seeing you at intersections. You'll experience all that in your first 1,000 miles of motorcycling. But if you get past that and you're still going out to ride, you're hooked. You are absolutely hooked, and that is awesome. So once you get hooked into motorcycling, you're thinking about it all the time, just like I am. I am constantly thinking about motorcycling. I'm thinking about gear. I'm reading reviews on motorcycles. I am reading about people's coast-to-coast trips, what their recommendation is for second motorcycles, just general articles. I'm watching YouTube videos on cornering and counter steering and reviews of motorcycles that people put online. So it really becomes all consuming, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, you would much rather have an addiction to motorcycling than a drug addiction. So it does get a little expensive. You do have to mind your budget. You certainly can't go out and buy everything under the sun, and you should definitely try to avoid credit cards as much as possible. I mean, I have they're great for emergencies. I had to use mine. I racked up a little debt, and now I'm just working on getting that debt taken care of. But if you can avoid credit cards on the majority of things, that's where you want to be, exactly. So it's very addicting. It can lead you to spend a lot more than you really need to. Remember, there's a difference between wants and needs. So it could be addicting, and plan on just getting hooked and enjoying it for the long haul. Now, number 2. This is the 1 and 2 are ironclad in place, as far as I'm concerned. Number 2, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course is the best thing that you could do. Honest to God, I'm telling you, it is the best thing you could do. The things that you will learn in the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course will stick with you forever. If you haven't watched my introduction video, I received my license back in 2012. That's when I took the course, and I purchased my first motorcycle in 2017. So there was a 5-year gap of procrastination that I did. And as soon as I got the bike and as soon as I got on it, everything from the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course came back to me. The braking, the clutching, the turning, the stopping, everything came back. That just goes to show you how great that course is that if after 5 years of not using any of that stuff, it sticks right in your head. And here in Indiana, it's done by a bait, and I highly recommend it. I had 2 great instructors. They were no nonsense. The classroom training was great. The on motorcycle training was great. Highly recommend it for anybody. Realistically, if you've never taken it it's good to know and learn all these safety factors if you're new. If you've never been on a motorcycle before, great introduction. It's in a controlled environment. Get done. So, Motorcycle Safety Foundation course. Please, please, please take it. It is very valuable. And finally, number one, there is no substitute for saddle time. Hence the reason why I'm riding today to work. I knew, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am not getting the amount of saddle time that I need to become a better and more proficient rider. So, as a result, I decided I needed to increase the frequency that I go out. Because riding 150 miles, 150 to 200 miles on the weekend is really not, you know, it's not a big deal. Because, you know, if you run 75 miles one day, 75 to 100 one day, and 75 to 100 on the next day, that's 150, 200 miles. But if you think about it, you're only getting on the motorcycle twice. So for me, it's repetition. It's getting on over and over again. And there's no substitute for getting in the saddle repeatedly and applying everything you've learned. There is no substitute. You can take all the courses in the world. You can read all the books and all the articles in the world. You can watch all the videos in the world. But until you are on a motorcycle, on the road, with traffic and the potholes and the morons and the crosswind and feeling cold and everything else that goes with it, you'll never appreciate it. You'll never get it. So saddle time is the number one. The more that you're able to get on your bike and ride and learn and apply all the techniques that you've learned from the videos, from the Safety Foundation course, and also your own instincts, that is going to be your most valuable tool. So, to wrap up, the 5 are coming up to a crossroads here. 5. People in passenger vehicles are homicidal maniacs. 4. Plan to spend more than you anticipate. 3. It is addicting. 2. Take the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course. It is extremely valuable. And number 1, there is no substitute for saddle time. So, I could put a few honorable mentions in there, you know, as well, but I'm just going to limit it to 5. I try to keep my videos as short as possible. The one thing I've known from watching YouTube videos myself, the attention span of people is pretty much around 10 to 15 minutes. So I try to keep my videos right around that mark. The shorter the better. My whole point is just getting the message along. But anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope my rest of my ride goes smooth. I am riding right now on Route 52 east of Indianapolis. I'm riding downtown. I work downtown. So, like I said, this is an adventure, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope you had a great day. I hope you got on your motorcycle, and I'll see you at the next video.